How's it going, everyone? Welcome back to the Nerdy Basement Podcast. I'm your host, as always, the OG Osmosis Urgent Simply Ozzy. And joining me each and every episode are my co-hosts.
What's going on, everybody? It's Eddie.
And Miguel.
And Ebony.
And we are...
The Nerdy Basement.
Was it your turn this
week?
You
guys.
No, you still didn't walk me through that.
We never even talked about it. Say it one more time. Go with it.
You're with
what are we?
The Nerdy Basement.
Ooh.
There you go.
Right,
Okay. And we are back for another episode after our brief hiatus. You know, we gave you guys a short episode last time. Then we gave you 2 quick bite episodes in our hiatus. But this episode is going to exceed the 6-hour mark, so I want you guys to be prepared and get your popcorn. It's going to be longer than the Super Bowl. We got a halftime show from everybody. Yeah, everything. Grab some snacks, grab something. It's going to be longer than the Snyder Cut, I'll tell you that much.
Grab your kids, grab your wife.
Nice. Had your kids, had your wife, grab everybody. You're going to be here for a while. So no, I'm totally kidding. Enough jabs at everybody. I thought I was past it.
We thought.
I had to get it out. We thought.
Let it out.
You know what the problem was?
We spoke about it before.
The moment we brought it back up, that's when Ozzy was just like, "No, I'm not done. I'm not over it. I'm not over this."
Yo, the name of the episode shouldn't be Wanda has got mad. It should be Ozzy has got more mad.
Yeah, maybe. I'll consider changing the title.
Just a scotch,
anyways,
right? Just a scotch.
Yeah, just a scotch. But anyway, we got, we do want to celebrate and thank everybody despite their disagreement with our episode lengths that we've been off to. Thank you guys for giving us an exciting 2021. We're off to a very good start, pumping out a lot of content, bringing on new team members, doing exclusive interviews and stuff like that. So January has been action-packed. February is going to be action-packed as well. We got a lot of stuff in the works. We did recently interviewed Igor and Valentine, the animation duo for PsyOp and Young Arts Nation. You can check that out right now, which is out if you haven't checked it out already. We also interviewed executive producer for PsyOp, Amanda Miller, because she has an Oscar consideration. So, nice. Ties it in with award season as an exclusive for the Nerdy Basement. That was a super fun interview. Both of them were super fun interviews and very informative. So I want you guys to really check that out and support those episodes. And we got an interview coming up with Catherine Newton and Kyle Allen. Unfortunately for that one, we were not able to ask about Ant-Man 3 because, the Marvel snipers. But you guys will see what happens, in the episode when it comes out. It'll be after this, but when it comes out, you guys will see. Nice little tease for you guys in there. And we got a couple more interviews coming up. Obviously, we got a press conference with the entire cast of Coming to America. Shout out to Amazon for hooking us up with that one. And I have a surprise interview in the works. I'm not going to say who it is yet, but there's another exclusive coming to the Nerdy Basement. I'll talk to the guys.
Do we know who it is?
Off air.
Do we know who it is?
No, you guys don't know who it is because I've been working out his secret.
You be always keeping secrets from us.
Oz,
listen. No. Listen. I hit you guys up about those other 2 Titan-related interviews that I'm trying to get. All right,
Ozzy be keeping it on a need-to-know basis, and at the moment, we don't need to.
Well, the thing is, I don't want to be like, yo, this is happening because I haven't gotten word back that it's actually happening. Once it's happening,
this is just another thing that we have to talk about in family therapy. Thanks.
That's like Eddie, you remember a few months ago when I was telling you that I was trying to set something up with a comic YouTuber that we were gonna do like a thing that I was gonna do like a thing on their channel and they were gonna do a thing on our channel. Remember?
Yep.
Yeah,
how that happened.
I also didn't tell anybody because I didn't know if it was a sure thing. So
got it.
Yeah, so that's my thing. So
I still don't know if it's a sure thing. So I kind of feel you on that, Ozzy. But I had one secret, man. You just be popping up all the time with secrets.
Listen, man. I'm trying to get us the hot interviews with the hot names because that's what's going to take us. At this point, it's going to take us to the next level. Like we've interviewed some hot names and we've gotten some feedback this past week because I shared a thread on Twitter of every single interview we've done, and we got literally from
since when
from early on. We've done a lot of interviews.
Oh, you mean
from the ones
from the cons, like when we got to like like interview a lot of writers and like in New York Comic Con.
Honestly, I forgot to actually share those. I will actually add those to that long ass thread.
Yeah,
of
you should,
interviews.
definitely because dude, we earned those shits too, man. A couple
Follow
of
the
them
Nerdy
like,
Basement on
when we
Twitter.
did GalaxyCon. Yeah,
We did Galaxy's Con.
Yeah.
We got that interview with Steve Orlando. So anybody who hasn't watched that interview on YouTube, we interviewed him.
Kyle Higgins.
Kyle Higgins, Dan Slott. Listen, that's names,
Yeah.
fam.
We've been-
That's not some little names, some up and coming. Those are established names that we interviewed.
Yeah.
We interviewed John Wesley Shipp, Dr. Mike. We got some hot interviews on our channels, man. I don't know what's wrong with y'all not
Eddie
listening.
had a dope,
But shit.
Eddie had a dope sit down interview with one of my favorite writers of Detective Comics. You remember that one?
Oh, Peter Tomasi. Yep.
Yes, sir.
Peter
Yes, sir,
Tomasi. We got to interview Kevin Conroy, Will Friedle, that entire cast, the producers, everything. Like the Nerdy Basement is pointing out fire. So I don't understand why y'all slacking and not taking us to the next
And
level
all
at this
and,
point.
and
'Cause,
all
like,
this stuff, all these interviews, you can see them all on YouTube.
Yep.
/
on YouTube, you can listen to them on our podcast feed, or you can read them on our website. Like we got some
But
hitters.
in the meantime,
and, we got
go
some
to
love.
our YouTube and subscribe.
And subscribe.
Smash that like button. That's why we do video.
Word. Subscribe. Do video. We do videos so you can watch us. Obviously, congratulations to us and shout out to everybody who subscribed, who got us past the 100 subscriber mark. We're now at 111
Nice.
subscribers on YouTube. We're looking to, it's not, like I said the last episode, the goal now is 200. Once we hit 200, then we'll do a little special. You know what I'm saying?
yeah.
We'll keep it in the tuck. But with that being said,
Hold on, keep it in the where?
we got some
Keep
interviews.
it in the tuck.
I said we'll keep it in the tuck.
Oh, tuck. I heard tub. I was like, is that a new one? I was like, I've never heard that.
Maybe we can make it a new one.
I was like, with our dirty
We
ass.
can coin that one like you did with Beast Mode and shit. But yeah, we do got some interviews in the works, so you keep an eye out for that one. The one that I'm really keeping sealed for now is a big one, because this person is a hot name right now. So I'm trying to figure. They said yes somewhat, but there's some other things that we need to kind of iron out and set in stone before I can make the announcement fully of who it is.
All right.
But
all right.
it's a hot name. It's a hot name.
We about to pause this episode right now because I need to know.
No, you don't. You're fine. No, let's.
I'll tell you. Listen, I'll tell you guys about all the upcoming pending ones that we're waiting word on from at the end of the
So
episode.
stay
Listen, man,
tuned.
if I gotta take days off work, like I'm gonna do it. 'Cause
Oh, now he offers.
Oh no, now he wants.
Now he offers. He says.
hey. That's all I'm gonna do.
Oh yeah, and then speaking of
okay,
that,
okay.
funny enough, that just made me remember. And then when I interviewed Odessa Young and everything, because I remember I took
Shirley.
off that day. I was just like, no, I'm doing this. I'm taking this. I'm getting these interviews for sure.
Word.
I'm like, yo, we're doing this shit.
Remember when you
I'm
interviewed
like,
Kelly
that's it.
Sue?
Also, Kelly Sue the
Yeah,
Conic and everything.
I shared
like
that one.
Yep.
We interviewed Kelly Sue the Conic.
Wow, we
Yep,
do
that's
have some
another big
names,
one.
yo. We have some, and mind you, we still have a lot of like tokens, right? Like I'm gonna call them tokens because we have everyone from like Scott Snyder, Greg Capullo. I think he also said that he was down. Joshua Williamson and all that. A lot of these writers owe us an interview because they all told me that they're like, hey, let's schedule
they
something.
don't owe us anything, but we would be
but in a
really
few,
appreciative.
Excuse
We
me.
would
Yes,
be really
we talked
appreciative.
about getting interviews together, and they were very open about it. And we do need to set stuff up, and definitely need to revisit this.
let me know so I can start reaching
Hey,
out.
bro, Noctera.
And try to-
Noctera's coming out, bro.
Okay, let me know so I can try to work some magic and see what happens behind the scenes, because it's a little.
Oh no, I feel you. But speaking
little
about
tough.
magic, let's get into WandaVision, guys.
Facts.
I had to. Sorry, I just had to.
All right, WandaVision, episode 4 and 5. The last time we talked about WandaVision was episode 3. Damn, did I review episode 4? Yeah, I did review episode 4.
Yeah, because we
on the
didn't
website.
do the episode, so you took care of it on the site. Yeah.
Yeah,
is
I didn't.
correct,
I didn't review episode 5 for the website yet, but obviously we're talking about it on the pod. So, quick thoughts on episode 4, since that was last week. There's a lot. Well, there was a lot to dive into last week, but there's also a lot of kind of dive into this week. But I don't know. What are you guys thinking so far of the season? We'll take it that route. What do we think about the season so far? Now we're halfway through the season.
Who's first?
Ebony, take it away.
Okay.
Ladies first.
Well, I'm glad you asked because they're fresh in my head. I watched them both twice earlier today. So I gotta say, at least overall with the series, how it's being paced, I really love how it's just giving you little bit by little bit. Like it's not giving you all the information in one episode. And it's kind of like, at least with episode 4, it feels like the SWORD agents and like seeing it on this other side of the perspective or the storyline. It's like they're representing us and they're discovering the mystery of WandaVision along with the audience. And I just really like how they pointed out certain things, like, you know, Darcy Lewis's character is almost like breaking the fourth wall with her comments. And just like seeing how this is, you know, building up Monica Rambeau's story, which I was looking forward to. And just like, you know, overall, yeah, episode 4 was cool because it's setting up the pieces for the second half of the series. Because then with episode 5, which I feel like was like, I would say episode 4 was sort of like a filler, but not really. And now episode 5 is like taking it to the next step. You know what I'm trying to say? Like it kind of is like giving you the other side. And then we got that that clip from the SWORD headquarters that was supposed to be top secret that they showed in the middle of episode 4. I don't want to spoil
Was
it.
that
we got some
I thought it was
information.
5.
No, that was 4.
That was episode 5. No, it was episode 5.
Yeah, that was 5.
This week's episode.
Remember,
yeah,
episode 4 was all Jimmy Woo and Darcy.
Yeah, but didn't they show the scene of her going to get Vision?
Yeah, but
In
that
this
was
episode.
but remember, Monica Rambeau was back outside of the bubble.
Okay,
now.
so whatever. I liked
that's
episode
episode 5.
4, and I watched them both back to back, so I was mixing it up. But anyways, sorry for the spoiler. It was overall a really good
Nah, it's all right. Well, we'll give a spoiler warning in a little bit, but
I'll cap
Go
it
ahead,
at
Miguel.
that, so I don't want to.
Okay. Episode 4 was dope. I like, you know, how I'm still iffy about director Tyler Hayward. Like something's up with him, and I can't quite put my finger on it, but something's up with him, especially with, you know, what he did in episode 5, which we'll get to. But in episode 4, just the fact that he knows what people are gonna say before they say it. So like Darcy mentions the CMBR, whatever they are.
the CMBR,
The microwave emissions, which by the way, cosmic
the
microwave emissions,
radiation,
you know,
background radiation.
You know, does that hit any? Do we know anybody who gets hit with cosmic waves? Do we?
Miss Rambeau.
Maybe
Yeah, it sounds a little fantastic to me.
Maybe 4 people, maybe 4 of them.
True.
It's a little fantastical.
You know?
I don't know about you,
know?
but it's a little fantastical.
But yeah, dude, Darcy and Jimmy Woo were my favorite parts of episode 4. And by the way, I know I told y'all in our little side combos, but when Jimmy Woo ties it all the way back to Ant-Man, when
With the card trick.
when my girl shows up at the at right outside of Westview, and he just goes pulls up his card, dude. I was like, okay, yeah, that's it. I love Jimmy Woo. He is my favorite non-superpowered character in the MCU, right next to Coulson and now Darcy. Like I would watch a TV show
With just
about
them.
Coulson, Jimmy Woo, and Darcy.
Hell yeah.
Like,
Actually, there's a writer right now. He actually follows us on Twitter. By the way.
Nice.
I forgot his name right now, but he's actually writing up a pitch, and he's pitching it tomorrow to write a Jimmy Woo series.
oh,
for Disney
dude,
Plus.
that would
I
be
live.
so awesome.
I live.
Nice.
Like he wants to do like X-Files style, which is dope.
I can see
So I
that.
like the idea behind it already. I was like, I really hope Marvel accepts
so
the pitch
funny.
and he can get that off the
Jimmy
ground.
Woo is the most innocent FBI character I have ever seen portrayed on any screen. Like he's
Do you remember?
like he's so innocent, dude. In Ant-Man, he goes up to Scott Lang and he goes, "Can you show me how to do that?" I was like, "Oh, Jimmy, you got my heart." like I just want to see Jimmy Woo in everything, dude. Like and I know I'm getting completely off topic, but episode 4 was super dope. I love how you can't see when Wanda rewinds time on their TV show. Like it just shows up as like an old school jump cut I like how they get the same commercials
Yep.
that are shown in the on our screens. It's very tongue in cheek, but also very implicit as to showing us what exactly it is that's going through Wanda's head. So I very, very, very much enjoyed everything about episode 4. The series as a whole so far has been amazing. It started off slow, but really, really picked up, and I love it. I love it. Eddie, on to you, sir.
No, pretty much you guys said it. You know what I mean? There was a lot of good connecting pieces with episode 4. It kind of goes back to exactly what I was saying, a couple of times. I'm pretty sure it's kind of twofold with how the bubble actually started. Partly, yes, it is Wanda's fault that, it happened, but, we can see that she got lost in it as well. You know what I mean? So it's like, because she's playing the role too, but then she does have her moments of, snapping it out, because with, when they did the radio transmission, when they were trying to talk to her, and that's when this girl did and sorry about the dogs, like always,
doggos are welcome
always,
on the podcast.
Well, not when they're barking. Those assholes is shit.
They're trying to talk too.
Apparently, they weren't even paying attention to the episode, man. They were sleeping. So when Jimmy Woo was talking through the radio, and then she broke the glass and everything, because they were getting snapped out of it and everything, because he was getting through. So it's like, I like the connecting tissues that that episode was giving. Obviously, Jimmy Woo and Darcy, they were like the scene stealers. Like, they were everything about it. Even since Thor, the Thor movies and everything, Darcy was always a fun character to watch, because she was snippy, she was funny. But what it really helps out with is, especially Ebony did it too. Like, I did the same thing the other day. I rewatched number 4, watched 5 back to back, and the connecting tissues just made it even better. Like, episode 5 then definitely gave us way more insight and way more questions after, which we'll get into right after this.
Damn, so y'all be waiting a week for the rewatch? I rewatch it the same day.
No, I need time for it to settle.
I watch
settle,
No, I'm talking about like a rewatch. I watch it and then rewatch it.
Because you're usually writing the review. You know what I mean? Yeah. Like, I would do that only if I was writing the review, because then I'd be like, okay, now this time is about taking notes and looking up and down. You know what I mean? But like,
literally, you know what I did last week for episode 4. So there was a lot of connective tissues. I literally watched it just to enjoy it. Just to enjoy it. I'll pick up stuff, whatever. But second time around, every couple minutes, I was pausing it, writing something down, rewinding, fast forwarding, pausing here. Let me analyze the screen real quick. Let me see what that whiteboard says. I was like, bro, I have never done this in my life, and I'm having the time.
I was gonna say
right
too, like, it's just the rewatch value for the show is also so good. I think I've seen every episode at least twice, and like, it's just like easy to enjoy. Like, and another thing I was gonna say, following up on the episode 4, like, it's kind of like you're watching these people see all of these different Easter eggs as like the way that you're so almost like you're watching yourself watch it, and like discover the little pieces.
Pretty much, yep.
So I thought that was really clever. But yeah, it's so easy to rewatch. It's such a great series.
Word. All right, so we're gonna get into some spoilers right now for episode 5 of WandaVision. So I wanted to warn everybody listening. If you haven't watched it, please go watch it, come back. But if you don't care about spoilers, please stay. But just letting you guys know, there's spoilers from here on out.
Hey, wait, time out. Warned. Do you want to like switch the order of some of these real quick? Like, at least put them.
Well, I mean, we don't have to go in chronological order, but I mean, we can jump around if you want. Like,
I'm just saying,
has to mark them off, I guess.
Well, I'll just take these over to the back, because you know what I mean. I feel bad if we start off with that. It's like,
I agree.
Are you talking about the Evan Peters?
Yeah.
Oh damn, Ozzy.
Well, I mean, he did say this after this 4 minutes, so. But I think we should save that for the end.
Exactly.
But yeah, I just moved them.
Y'all trying to get me to talk about it nicely.
Well, not even talk about nicely.
Hold on, wait a
second. I'm saying.
Wait. What do you mean trying to get you to talk? You got bad things to say about WandaVision?
About this cameo,
no,
yes.
But we ain't talking about the
we'll get to it.
Unfortunately,
the cameo isn't the whole episode, though.
No, but unfortunately for me, it kind of does. Unfortunately, ruin the episode.
All these flavors, and you chose to be salty.
Yes, I would admit that I was a little salty about it. And granted, there were leaks 2 weeks ago, and I knew about Evan Peters
we've been
way
talking about
before.
it. Matter of fact, didn't we talk about it when we did episode 3 of WandaVision?
I don't think I mentioned the leaks
He's on
that
the casting
episode,
credits.
but
He's
anybody
been on
can
the
correct
casting
me.
credits.
Yeah, here was what we were talking about at that time. I kind of faintly remember the convo. We said it's potentially a possibility that he will be in the show. It's more of a possibility that he's in the show, but did he completely recast like Quicksilver or not? That's what we were trying to figure out. But you know what I mean? We can get to that when we get to that on the notes. I swapped them
Thanks,
for a good reason because I didn't want to start off on a sour note, man.
If you want to love something, you gotta start out with the hate. Start out with the bad first, and then work your way up. Be like, WandaVision is still perfecto, but this particular moment was not so perfecto to me. So, but anyway, now let's start out with some of the nice stuff.
Okay,
for real.
Let's start out with who gave Sword Vision's body, because last we saw Vision's body was in Wakanda.
Wasn't that where their
right?
secret
And,
bases?
No.
Well, like one of them.
We don't know if it's a secret
Like,
base.
didn't
we
they
don't really
mention
know.
in that part
Obviously,
they were like,
Wanda
"Oh, this
knows.
is a secret containment area for Sword. It could be like contained in Wakanda," and she could have found it.
I don't think it would be contained in Wakanda because
they don't want
Black Panther. We're gonna have to assume Black Panther wouldn't want them to come to Wakanda.
they don't want no colonizers on Wakanda.
You're right.
Yeah,
Exactly. Yeah. Pretty much the simple way of saying it. They're white people. They're not going to be there.
Hey, except for Bucky.
Bucky was an exception.
The White Wolf was
Captain
welcome.
America, and Bucky were the only exception.
Oh, and my man, my man, the agent who ended up flying the.
Yes.
I can't remember.
Is that Martin Freeman's?
I don't remember his name right now, but
Yeah.
Martin Freeman.
They called him the colonizer.
I forgot the actual character name. They did.
Shuri did, and as we all know, Shuri right now is probably in charge of Wakanda. So.
Yeah.
So that's one of the big
However,
questions.
after
from
the
that
events
episode.
of
Who
Endgame,
gave Sword?
it could be possible still. Just saying. Like
Wait,
that
what?
they could have come to an
What was that?
agreement due to the nature of the situation.
They could have.
Maybe.
Well, it was confirmed at least with last week's episode that the show takes place 3 weeks after the events of Endgame.
Oh wow.
So
Yeah.
They also nodded to that.
Yeah,
in
they-
so
episode
it's only
4.
literally 3 weeks.
Umbaku
Because
was
obviously
like that,
when the episode starts, you're watching Monica because obviously she was snapped. She comes back, and it's 2023. Then they tell that her mom Maria Rambeau died 2 or 3 years after she disappeared. Blah
Yeah.
blah blah. So you do the math, and then the snap.
I
and
like
you
that
do
they include
quick
that.
quick
yeah.
maths, and then you got 3 weeks.
Okay, I got a quick question, and I've been wondering this, and I've been talking it over with people for a few days now. All right. When Monica showed up, she showed up in the chair she was sitting in when she got snapped, right?
Yes.
Okay. The people who were on airplanes
Yes.
when they got snapped, did they just show up in the air?
Oh wait, time out.
That's a good
That theory was given. So when so they attributed for that, right? The when Banner did his re-snap, right? He actually made sure that everyone that was in a dangerous situation would just be on the ground near where they were snapped at. That's what it was. Like that, they straight up said it. So like people in the cars that got snapped, they wouldn't end up in the middle of the highway. So like, that's why like, the funny scenarios were like, when they got blipped in Spider-Man when they showed that video, they just ran into the marching band, or like they ran into the basketball players because that's where they popped up at. So they were still in a safe place. You know what I mean? So that's pretty much what it was.
This was the
That's how they
first time
explained
though
it.
that I was watching something where I was like, am I gonna appear like, not me, but like somebody who who got snapped on the operating table, right? Did they come back on the operating table during somebody else's operation or halfway open?
Well, they kind of show that in last week's episode where the doctor is moving a patient, or he's moving an empty bed, around the hospital.
somebody's
And then the
peers,
patient that was there reappears and rematerializes in that same bed. So yeah, it's kind of like that. So yeah, if you're on the operating table, yeah, unfortunately, you're gonna come back on the operating table.
Yeah.
and they don't even have none of your blood ready to go for your procedure.
So I mean, I don't know.
Like, I'm sorry, bro. You know what? You know what?
I gotta see what other contingency plans Stark and Banner kind of put into place mentally to make sure they're not killing anybody, bringing them back.
Yeah,
And shit.
I'm pretty sure. Like I've read it somewhere that someone was saying, like, you know what I mean? Yeah, they attributed it for that fact. They were like because a lot of planes fell too. You know what I mean? A lot of or like there was almost like some crash. Like remember we saw the helicopter crash the moment that Fury was looking when he got snapped and everything at the end of the movie. So you know what I mean? You see a lot of the stuff that happened anyway.
Damn.
Like out of cases, some of these people still were okay.
You come back, and your wife or your husband moved on. It's been 5 years, so they got a new person in bed.
Most likely, yeah.
You come back.
Well, they mentioned I was literally rewatching Far From Home. Yes, last night with my son, right? And they mentioned that Aunt May mentions that she's like, "Oh, when I came back from the blip, I appeared in someone's apartment, somebody else who was living in my apartment already because I was gone. The wife thought I was a mistress, and the grandma thought I was a ghost.
Yeah." It was funny. It was real funny there. But see,
it's interesting that they actually thought it out that much to be like, oh, what would other people think about people reappearing like that out of nowhere?
I think it's funnier too. Like you see, like the different movies have a different way of like showing the perspective. Far From Home kept it a little comical, but with the show, they're keeping it a lot more real life scenario. And her being in a hospital when it's already hectic as it is for most part, it got even more hectic. They're like, we're already filled at capacity out of nowhere. What the fuck just happened?
I really enjoyed they used that as a narrative
and
tool
everything,
because it
you know?
added to the tension.
And mind you, again, yeah. See, and mind you, that's episode 4, and we're still talking about it in episode 5 because that's how big it is right there, right? But like, see, and then this is what I was telling you. I was pretty sure that Wanda was pissed about something, and that's why she ended up doing the bubble. And I'm pretty sure, like Miguel pointed out, the new director, he's a little shady, or they did shady shit because obviously they grabbed Vision's body. We see that happened, and obviously that wasn't supposed to be the case. They were trying to study his body to, get more powerful weapons for the United States or whatnot. You know what I mean?
Hence the renaming of Sword to sentient weapons as opposed to
Sentient world.
Sentient world, whatever. So yeah.
Observations and response division.
Instead of discovery and stuff, yeah.
Yeah, so he's shady.
I do
as
agree.
fuck,
I agree with
definitely.
what Miguel said because he does feel like they were even calling him a dick in the episode. Like,
he put a bomb.
Yeah.
He put a missile in a drone that was supposed to be sent in for freaking reconnaissance.
Yo, you want to know? You want to know how more fucked up he is? He actually sent in the drone and wrote Stark Industries on that shit.
oh, to trigger
shit.
her trauma. Fuck.
And
didn't
then
catch
on
that.
top of that, he didn't inform the rest of the team that the drone was armed with a missile.
Well,
Yeah, exactly. She was like, "There's no missiles here. What is this? Not armed."
He informed his team, but they're not on his team. They are just a team that's there. And he doesn't even consider Monica Rambeau, like, to him, she is damaged goods, right? She is somebody...
Well, the thing is, she's an immediate threat because, her mom started Sword. She's one of the founders of Sword.
So he has to be
This
cool.
reminds me... This reminds me of the Tony Stark, Obadiah Stane dynamic, where it's like, I was friends with your dad, so I'm gonna be friends with you and I'm gonna mentor you until I can kill you and take over your company.
Yeah.
To an extent, yeah. I think this is also brings it back to the whole, he might be for the better lack of the word, working for AIM. You know what I mean? And that's the reason why they went this direction. They're trying to do the same thing Hydra did to S.H.I.E.L.D. S.H.I.E.L.D. had the very top guy, be a Hydra agent, and they were still working in plain sight with things that they trusted. And Sword was a trusted place. Now the guy's taking over. So maybe it might not be the whole organization, but I'm pretty sure a couple of them are probably AIM affiliates.
Oh, for sure.
You know what I mean?
Definitely.
You think that maybe that's why the guy in the radioactive suit turned into a beekeeper?
That's
to
what I'm
kinda-
thinking. Because
kinda,
remember, that's
like-
what we kept on nodding at, right? AIM is the bee is the hive.
AIM,
You
yeah.
know what I mean? And that's how we've always seen it in the comics and stuff like that. But who knows? Maybe this is how they created MODOK because they were studying like Vision's body and everything like that, and they keep on building it up
I
that
like
way
that.
and stuff like that.
I like
But-
that.
That's a nice theory.
You know
That
what
is
I mean?
a nice theory.
But
So
so
you want to write a piece about that?
fuck it, why not? Why the fuck not? Why the f not? Right, guys?
That's a nice theory. I have not heard that theory anywhere else. So we could be one of the first people to kind of put that one out.
Why not?
I'll
You know what?
gladly take it.
I'll do it. I'll do it. Why the fuck not? But look, this is where I got thrown for a loop. The Agnes asking about redoing the scene, right? Because the beginning of it seemed like she was a little bit more aware than others, right? She did show that she was more aware, but she also seemed like she was doing it on her own accord, right? So for her to ask her, wait, that wasn't planned. What should we redo this, right? And being like, hey, run it back, right, guys, run it back. So it seemed like she wasn't kind of like part of the manipulation of it, right? Because think about it, we keep on thinking that she's supposed to be Agatha Harkness, like, you know what I mean? So it's like, is she not the Agatha that we assume that she's playing another game with her, with Mephisto in the background? Like, is she not kind of helping pulling the strings, or is she literally stuck in this shit too? You know what I mean? Or that, because like with that redo scene, it was like that caught me off guard because I'm like, she doesn't understand that she's fully in control anymore either. So that's where I was like, holy shit.
There's a couple moments to cement that theory, even later on with Sparky, where the twins ask her, oh, well, you can bring people back from the dead, like just bring him back from the dead, and then Agatha's like, well, Agnes, she's like, wait,
You could do that.
you can do that, like. So
maybe
like,
she's trying to convince
maybe,
her that she's not under the control. Like maybe she's afraid of Wanda and she wants to get on her good side, and so that's her way of like acknowledging Wanda's power, which is why Wanda starts feeling a little less guarded around her with her powers and stuff. Because maybe she's trying to like get a little closer. Now she's calling herself Auntie Agnes. Like she's doing all these little things. Because I feel like she's aware of the situation. I think she has been, and if anything, maybe the spell is wearing off a little bit on her at that moment, and she's like, acknowledging the fact that there's something else going on. So she probably knows something, but not completely. The same way that Monica did.
We'll expand on that. Yeah, we'll expand on that a little bit. I want to go back to Vision real quick because that scene of her breaking into Sword's secret base to recover Vision's body was supposed to be a post-credit scene for Avengers Endgame.
Yes, it was.
But they saved it, to include it here. So obviously, we also know timeline-wise that from her, it's been 9 days since she's taken Vision's body, and obviously all the events we've seen.
Like 2 days or something now.
It's only really been like a little over a week that it's been taken.
No, even less. Think about it. Like when Jimmy Woo got in there, he was like, "It's been about 24 hours since I lost contact with my guy." Or no, when they set up the whole stage, their whole outpost, it was like, it's about 24 hours since we lost Monica. So it's been at least like only 2 days since then, because he said, oh wait, no, you're right, it's probably like a week, because it's like,
because the Hayward, he was like, because Monica asked, oh, when did she break into the secret base to take Vision's body? And he was like, oh, it was 9 days ago.
Yeah. Well, no, I'm also thinking like, because Jimmy Woo found out about the missing person like about 3 or 4 days, like he said 2 or 3 days, that's when they went to investigate, and he's like, I'm not supposed to be coming inside of here, and no one knows about this place. And then it was 24 hours after when they set up the whole outpost, when Monica got sucked in. So her 3 episodes were just her like for 24 hours.
Yeah,
it's a lot. Time is weird.
Yeah, she's messing up reality like to every extent possible. But
speaking of messing up reality, in this in episode 5, Vision said something that I had thought of before, but I kind of just explained it away somehow, and it came back, and I can't explain it away. All right.
What do you mean?
So Westview has a population of, if I'm not mistaken, something along of 3,000 people.
A little over
A
3,000.
little over
yeah.
3,000 people. You're telling me that in a town of over 3,000 people, there are no children? Did she blip like did she move the children like out? Did she like enroll the children in an orphanage? like does she have all the children asleep in a basement somewhere? Like where are all the children?
Yeah. She's material.
Like-
she's able to manipulate material,
Like-
the physical, and also mental.
Like
So-
before I watched episode 5 or about I think episode 3, I was just like, oh, okay, there's she probably like this is probably a really really small town, and she probably abducted the people that are in this town to be part of her story, right? I didn't realize until episode 4, like everybody else didn't realize, that no, like she took over a town and like threw up a bubble. So like
Pretty much.
there are kids in this town. There have to be kids in the town. There's a playground.
In the preview for one of the upcoming episodes, there's kids and like, I think like a Halloween.
Yeah, next week's episode, which is the Halloween episode. Now there's a shit ton of
so
kids.
she wakes all the kids up for Halloween.
Probably.
They're probably
Probably.
Probably. Well, if you think about it, Vision asks like, "Oh, well, why are there no kids in Westview?"
That's what made me think about it again.
Every time I I walk into work, the swings they're just empty.
And then
There's no
this is
kids
after
anywhere.
he
We're the only ones
realizes
with
that
kids.
these people are kept under hostage because he tapped that guy out of his like state, and he was like feeling like, oh, it hurts. Can you tell her to stop? So imagine what the kids could be going through, which is why he's probably putting 2 and 2 together and being like, wait a minute, what are you doing to the kids if they're around?
Yeah. And speaking of
Yeah.
which, when he did snap out Norman, right before that, the email that they got,
Oh, yeah.
that's extra evidence in there that Sword is kind of doing some shady shit. Because
Word.
there was extra additive to it. I forget exactly what it said, but I remember when I read it out when I heard it out loud, I was like, oh, that doesn't sound that good. I was like, that's actually that's like some military shit that they're trying to like gain something else. Like they're
Right.
trying to gain their asset back and everything. That's where he comes back into
Wouldn't
it.
they tell Darcy and Jimmy Woo's character, like, we have email correspondence, like we have a way to reach them? Like they didn't mention that when they were briefing these people,
So that
Well, that's the thing. He's not saying
Nope.
everything. He's not revealing everything. Because even if you go back to last week's episode, on the board, Jimmy Woo writes down every means they use to try to communicate to Wanda. Phone lines. They used the agents. They were sent in drones, and they failed every single time up until they got the email in this episode, which Vision was able to read or whatever. So
I don't think that the email is Hayward communicating to somebody inside. I think the email is just something that kind of got caught in his internet web. So like it's an email that Hayward sent possibly to his superior or somebody else, but not somebody in the bubble, somebody somewhere else. And
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I
yeah.
think Vision caught it like in between during transit. That's the only reason why he saw it, and then that's why everybody kept on rereading it out loud and everything. It was just kind of a weird blip.
That was
moment
really
and
cool that
everything
they
like
all started
So,
speaking in sync
yeah.
too. It added that.
And then they laughed
spooky
about it.
well,
factor.
cool and
Very
creepy as
creepy.
fuck at the same time. I was like, oh, they all
And,
caught on.
and like a
and
side
shit.
note
Like,
about the episode too, the way that it just like jumps from like a comedic tone to really really creepy in a matter of seconds is like genius how they do that, because you're so on edge the
Word.
whole time. So
Because even the canned laughter when he snapped Norm out of it, and then he's like, and then he snaps him back, and then you get the canned laughter. It's like, fam, that's not funny at all. Like, I'm scared for him right now. Like, how much more pain is this guy going through?
he's worried
How about
his
everybody
dad.
else for
Word,
that
word.
matter?
That made me feel really bad,
Yeah.
dude.
Oh,
I have never so like watching this show, at no point while I was watching this show, even though I knew people were like under control, I was never like, oh, okay, these people are under control and they're suffering.
Word.
But like the way it happened, with Norm, I was like, oh man, like I feel really, really
Well,
bad.
that kind of also cements. This is going way back. This is also going back to the premiere.
Sorry about the dog,
this-
by the way.
No, it's okay. It goes back to the pain and suffering with both the hearts, where he started choking
I was
randomly.
just thinking
Then she tells Vision to save him, And then his wife, and she's like looking at her like frantic, while trying to keep it nice and comedic. She's frantic, like, yo, like.
It looks like she was
stop it.
smiling
Like, stop
through
it.
pain.
Yeah, like, because if you kind of think about it, it's kind of Wanda trying to keep up the charade.
Yeah.
But she's realized, and Mrs. Hart has realized, like, yo, you're fucking up. Like, you're theoretically killing him in a sense. Like, you need to stop it. Like, stop it. Like, stop trying to kill this man. So they're all suffering. That's just the fucked up part about it. They're all suffering some way, somehow. So
She didn't let him chew right. Like, she made him chew wrong. Come on, Wanda.
for real, went down the wrong
And I think
pipe.
as the episodes
that's-
progress, too, you're realizing more and more how powerful Wanda is. You know, because they even
Well, think about it. She's
Yeah.
but that's the thing. She's more powerful in what she erected, only in the bubble. So that's the thing. I remember if I remember most things in like, you know, magic wise when they've mentioned it in Marvel, in their home of power, like if it's their home, usually they are the most powerful possible. You know what I mean? That's what, like, you know, if you go to the Sanctum, Doctor Strange is the shit. You will almost never beat him in his own home, and that's the same scenario in the bubble. That's why she's capable of like doing all this stuff, but at the same time, it looks like it's getting a toll on her too.
because
You know what I mean?
she
It's
just like
growing
it
a
came
toll.
out of nowhere. Like she
You know?
just took a random town, so like she just erected her powerful place there. So she doesn't have
Yeah.
complete control over it. You know.
Word. I did see online, this is coming from comic books, somebody there wrote an article about how Marvel changed her power set. So I read the article, and I'm just like, I don't think Marvel really changed her power set. They kind of stick to it comic book wise. It's just we've never really seen her as we go along with her story in every episode, and not just every episode this show, but every movie she's appeared in, she grows stronger and stronger. Is because she's still developing her powers. Back in Age of Ultron, because they were comparing it to Age of Ultron, how she was only manipulating the Avengers, because that was the end goal of that movie in general, was just to manipulate the Avengers to see their worst fears, their worst nightmares, so they can destroy themselves essentially. Here now, she's developed, she knows, she's used her powers to alter reality. She can conjure up spells to attack. The woman almost damn near killed Thanos.
Yeah, they
Damn,
made
so
a
I was
note
waiting
about
for
that.
someone to bring
Yeah.
it up. They brought it up. She was like, she could have killed him if he didn't bring. Which is funny that she also knew about that. Like, I like that Monica even knew that. He was like, oh yeah, when he called down the blast, that's when it happened. You know what I mean? Like, I was like, were you there? I was like, Monica, that's pretty.
Well,
that's
yeah,
pretty
I
deep,
saw
detail.
that question too, because that even brings up the debate, the response from Jimmy Woo. He's like, well, I don't know. I will say Captain Marvel kind of had a
And
beat,
you saw
know?
her
I'm looking back and I'm
reaction
just
to
like,
that too.
yeah, there's some bad blood between them two. There's gonna be some bad blood between them two, and it's setting up the pieces for Captain Marvel too. So I'm thinking it has to do with the blip, and then her in some way somehow not being there for
her mom.
Maria as she should have been.
Probably, yeah.
So it
There's
has to
some
be something along
baggage.
those lines. And we also, yeah, exactly. There's some issues that needs to be handled between them two, and I wouldn't be surprised if they come to blows in Captain Marvel 2 at some point.
Oh, true.
But we also get some more setup for her origin story for Monica and her spectrum powers because of the X-ray.
Yeah, like
It's all blank.
that was.
So there's
yeah,
too much
so
light in
Asking
there.
that's
her what she
interesting too.
remembered, you know, and she just like barely remembers how it all went down, or how she like got her powers.
Oh no, wait, what part?
When she was in the bed and they were reading her levels, right? They were asking her questions.
Oh well, she never had powers. She doesn't know she has powers.
No,
one knows.
it's not that. They're asking her they're asking her what she remembers from inside the bubble.
Okay.
Not from before.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But the power, like from what we can see, is that somehow her being in there, then getting shot out by Wanda, is making her change. So it's like it's interesting because of the fact that if that's how they're saying, that's how she gets her powers. Because that's the like her being called Photon, she has very similar powers to like Captain Marvel. Technically, it's very
That
similar.
reminds
to an
me
extent.
too of like when she went to go. I don't know if I'm jumping ahead, but when she looked at her outfit that came out with her, the material was made out of Kevlar mostly. So this could be almost like a reverse effect. Like what goes in stays the same material, so what comes out could stay the same material. So that could also leave room to interpret that she gets powers that way. You know.
I mean, that's cool. Yeah. Yeah.
I think it's an easy way to do it, especially if they're already teasing at it with the X-ray thing. So that's it's interesting. I guess like for her to get survive that way and get her powers, I can see that happening, and that's
well,
dope.
that's all all the radiation that's being emitted inside, and then you got to remember episode 4 they revealed that where the bubble ends, there's 5 miles after that still emits that radiation that she's putting out. So anything within that 5-mile radius will be affected by that radiation, even if it's safe. Quote unquote.
Oh, see,
safe. It will still be effective.
I was under the impression that the dome was a 5-mile radius.
It is, but it's still emitting outside the dome. So, which is why they're close to the dome, but according to Hayward, that's a safe zone of where they can stay without being affected that much, or where you would receive too much radiation and you would die.
And it goes to show that Wanda's actually being aware of the fact that she can stop it at a certain point. Like, because I'm sure she could expand that bubble, but she's containing it within there so she doesn't cause more destruction.
Well, we saw her fucking hex it even more and shit after she came out the bubble her damn self, and it was like, listen, I'm gonna kill you right now if you keep trying to take away my home and shit. Yeah. And also, I don't know if you guys realize, she also brought back her Sokovian accent.
Yes, she did.
That interaction.
Angry. She also seems a little different from it. Like, she forgot who she was from, like, Endgame, too. It seems like she's the angry one from Age of Ultron.
I see that, yeah.
Because that's how I interpreted it. It's like she's remembering more anger. She's like, that's when she was the most like angry and felt like everybody was against her. So like, she went back to the Sokovian days when she's like, all you guys are my fucking enemy, and that's why she did the accent and then did the way that she did. So I was like that was dope. Like little bits like that are definitely huge.
And she broke the Sokovia Accords.
Yo, was it section 36B or something like that?
Come on, Wanda.
Damn, Wanda, you breaking
that's
again?
what I'm telling you. Back to it.
No, they also nodded to that with the Lagos paper towel commercial. With messes that you can't clean up.
Yo, that
was so good.
Messes.
And it was red juice that they spilled.
For messes, you didn't. Which is literally blood that she spilled, and like it's bruh. The metaphors.
Yeah, that was dope. Honestly, I was like, oh wow. Like, mind you, I didn't catch it the first time I saw
neither.
it. So I was like, I saw it. I was like, oh. I was like, damn, that was nice. I was like, that was nice.
First time I watched it, I was like, Lagos. What is Lagos? That sounds familiar. What is that? And then all I could think of was Villa Lagos. And I was like, no, damn it, this has nothing to do with Michael Jackson.
Oh man. But yeah, so back to that too, right? It's so that's back to my theory. It's that, yes, did she do something wrong by grabbing Vision and all that kind of stuff? Probably, in some sense of the world, right?
Yeah, she broke his living will as a machine.
Here's the thing,
one.
I don't think
since
she
when
did
he have a living will though? That's to me that's bullshit from Hayward.
It could possibly. Who knows? He
Hayward
might have
might
done
know.
it like right when he was dying. You know what I mean? I think who knows? He might have done it when he was still with the Avengers, and he already foresaw this, because think about it, he was the most intelligent being around. So that was one thing. But I'm going back to the whole theory of, so it's twofold. Wanda got his body because she found out they were doing something shady. Sword started the shady shit, not her. She came in to rescue the body because she's like, nah, not to my man. No,
he doesn't want to be used as a
grab
weapon,
him, right? Yep, he doesn't want to be. This is your fault. This is not happening. Brings him back home, to then erect the bubble, because I bet you they showed up early. They showed up before to fight her for the body back, and so in defending herself, that's when she erects the bubble, and things go crazy because she's like, she's expending so much power. Eventually, she was like to try to protect everything. You know what I mean? In hindsight, that's where I see like her being the victim and also the enemy at the same time. You know what I mean? The victim and the villain. You know what I mean? Because I feel like, because that's the thing. Like, she's relatively a good person. So why would she end up just encapsulating everything? Because she could have just kept it inside the house and kept Vision alive.
This whole situation is a trauma response.
Yes, that's what I'm saying. It's like, it's crazy, because I was like, I can't see her honestly being the full bad guy, because it's the same thing in House of M. She's just freaking the fuck out.
Is the mental slip from House of M, essentially. She's grieving, she slips, she doesn't know how to handle the grief, she doesn't know how to freaking contain herself emotionally, so she just breaks down, and then shit goes haywire.
Containing herself is contained.
But that also
yeah,
exactly. And then to even cement what you're saying, that also goes back to the scene where she gets out of the bubble and hexes all of the soldiers to only point all the guns at Hayward.
The Magneto
so
scene?
obviously, yeah, the whole Magneto scene.
Yeah.
So there's obviously some bad blood between her, Sword, and Hayward
That shady
specifically,
mother effer.
because she didn't. She didn't point the guns at anybody else, because even Monica was there.
she might
even
have
though
known.
she tossed the ass out.
She might have known that Hayward was in charge because he was the one who was like yelling at her.
Yeah. Well, to some degree, it's like what Monica told him. She's like, listen, I helped deliver your babies. You only threw me out because you knew I didn't belong here. You didn't put me here on purpose.
But you let me
So
in.
that's why you tossed me out.
Yeah.
But you let me get close to you to that degree. Because listen, you letting this woman deliver your babies. You're letting her get close to some degree. And then you further prove that by not attacking her or not having any of those guns pointed at her. You'd even put a hex on her on the outside. You put a hex on all the other soldiers.
But remember what she says to Hayward. She was saying something along the lines of, "You're not going to do this again. Not in my home. I'm not going to let. I'm protecting my home. You're not getting close."
Yeah,
to it
so
again.
she's essentially she's trying to protect.
You know?
She's trying to protect Vision. She's trying to protect Vision to some degree.
Yep.
And
But as I'm saying,
things
she's
just
telling
don't go
us
her way.
Hayward is shady. Hayward is. But here's the thing. Now it's the question of, is Hayward shady in the sense of AIM shady, like back like the back end deals.
I like that.
I
AIM
love
theory,
it. I
though,
love
man.
it too.
I really like
but
it.
also,
I
I just know.
like it.
I just know how government is. The government is horrible. You know what I mean? They're
Tyler-
willing to
Yes.
whatever
Tyler
justifies
Hayward
the means,
is
right?
really MODOK in disguise.
Oh my god! Imagine that. He
That's
becomes the big ass
funny.
head. That'd be
If we
great.
ever do get MODOK in the MCU, I will not take anything else but a big ass floating head
Yeah.
with
Okay.
little ass arms and
All
legs.
right. So check this out, because after what Eddie said, like I got hit with like a little bit of a theory myself. All right. So you guys know when they're putting up the paid pictures with the licenses of all these New Jersey residents,
Yeah.
they're putting that up on the whiteboard, right?
Jersey.
Yeah.
They have Agatha's
Shut up.
picture up on the whiteboard, but no
nobody's name.
license. Could it be that she is a Sword member that Tyler Hayward sent in, like undercover, to like, Wanda, I'm a witch too. Let me help you out, because Sword essentially probably has superpowered individuals working under them, right? And so that is why Agatha is kind of like pushing Wanda to like kind of pushing her to like further escalate, but like to give Hayward a reason to, when this is all over, to lock her up, right? So it's kind of.
I'm sorry to
like,
cut you off.
It's what's that term? Gaslighting.
Yeah, I didn't want to cut him off, but I want to hear him
Yeah.
like
They-
flesh out his
but
theory.
They don't
Well,
put license
go ahead.
plates on brooms if you're a witch. That's all I have to say.
Ha. But she tried. Ebony tried, right?
I got you. That's actually good to come out.
Wait, but here's my thing, because this just blew up in my head. So I don't think during episode 3, I don't think they were referring to her having kids. I think they were referring to her bringing back their kids, because they're somewhere else. Remember, like Vision keeps on bringing up, where are the children? Right? There's no
They're in a
children in this
basement.
town, but here we don't know. Maybe a different cosmic fold, right? But here's the thing. But then the scene was saying, this is for the children. This is for the children. And I think what they were asking her, can you bring back our kids? You took away our kids. This is why we're doing it. I don't think they were doing it to try to get her knocked up. They were doing it to try to get her to finally bring them into the show so they can have them being safe. Because the only children we get to see is in the commercials.
Oh, right. And then Agnes is in cahoots
So I
with
think
another
that's what it
entity
was.
to make these kids happen. So she's misdirecting Wanda to have her own.
Yep. And who knows? Maybe these kids become the house of, like, the new mutants, because they're trapped somewhere else. And until she brings them back, and similar to Monica, starting to get powers somehow, they become the new mutants from that point.
Well, yeah. Well, one thing's for sure, that everybody and anybody who is either comes in or out of that bubble is coming out fucked up regardless.
It's gonna
You're
be
coming out
crazy.
with something.
Oh man, but that shit just got me chilled, because I was like, no, it wasn't a manipulation. They were just trying to get theirs back. They're like, we don't know where our kids are anymore. Please for the children. Bring them
And
back.
they're in
like,
pain
That's
because
what
they're
they
being
were
That's-
asking.
that's
This
interesting.
is a horror. Like the more truth that comes out, you just feel so horrible.
Oh, the chills right now. God, I
that's-
love this
that's
show.
interesting, though.
This show is so fucking good. Like
I mean, well, listen,
fucking love
there's that's one way to introduce some sort of mutants. Obviously, with her having the twins now and how rapidly they themselves are aging themselves up, and seeing how whatever comes out of the bubble stays that way. Obviously, there goes the introduction to Wiccan and Speed,
True.
and you got the start of your Young Avengers
I had
eventually
another
with
thing
that.
about these kids that Agnes mentioned. It's like hard to control kids. Maybe because it's easy to control of the adults of the city because they have trauma and they can be manipulated a little easier. Kids are more like a blank slate, so it's like you can't really manipulate them the same ways that you can. She couldn't even control her own kids.
Ooh, I like that. Oh, you're
Maybe.
right. She couldn't
Word.
control her own kids, so she sent them somewhere else and everything. to just
because
not be
they're
about it.
because they're a manifestation of her power. So like even though she essentially gave life to these kids, like
They're their own
she
person.
can't control them. She can't control them because they're like an extension of her power.
True.
And that's why the kids can age up at like that's not her aging them up. They're aging themselves up.
Oh yeah, totally.
And mind you, anybody else get mad at Wanda almost at the end of the show when she's sitting there being a damn hypocrite?
Using her magic.
I was like, no. When she's sitting there talking to the dogs, like, oh, kids, you know, like you can't you can't bring things back from the dead.
Accept
you gotta
the
learn to
feeling.
let go. I was like, shut up, Wanda, freaking hypocrite.
Word. And the thing that pissed me off about that the most is not because she's being hypocritical, but obviously from a parental standpoint, is a little white lie that you tell your child. But people watching the show are taking it at face value, like, oh, well, going forward, jumping ahead a little bit to the Evan Peters thing. Well, she couldn't bring back her brother, which is why we got Evan Peters. No, she brought Vision back to life without the Mind Stone.
Okay,
Vision-
that's my theory.
She didn't bring him back to life. He's not alive. People need to stop saying
He's,
that.
no, he's alive. He's a walking corpse.
Yeah,
He's a
see,
machine.
the
zombie.
reason why I think that works out for her is because she was created with the Mind Stone. But I think the problem is going to end up being he's going to be in that scenario of only in this section or when you're in vicinity of me are you alive. The moment that you're too far out, then you're
He
dead.
even says it.
I can't keep you
He's
alive.
like, we're usually always
Do you
of the
think
same
so though?
mind.
Because, well, yeah, that's a reference to them. They're both the powers coming from the Mind Stone. But there is a trailer where he breaks out of Westview as Vision.
Yeah, but no,
without the Mind
But
Stone.
like, okay, so in that trailer, either somebody is pulling him back in, or he's falling to his knees, dying.